In this video, we will teach you how to invoice using the NoteRunner Studio software. NoteRunner Studio keeps track of your billable events and fees for your studio and will generate a report for each student or family each month. To view your current month's invoice, select Invoicing from the Finances drop-down menu at the top. Here you will see the invoicing table for the current month. You can change this month by selecting the month, the year, and clicking the Select Date button. You can also view an invoice for a specific student by selecting the student from the drop-down menu on the left. If you would like to see more extensive details on invoicing, you can click this Show Details button on the right. For now, let's look at the information listed on the initial view of the invoicing table. Here is my first student, Christy Lynn. The first column we see is the student bank. The student bank we will talk about more extensively in another video related to the student bank. The student bank is essentially a place where students can deposit funds that can be applied throughout the year. This is convenient because if a student wants to pay online and wants to use something like PayPal, they can enter all their funds at one time, only have one PayPal fee, and those funds can be used by the teacher for fees and events throughout the year. If there's excess at the end of the year, the teacher can refund the student at that time. The next column are the current month's charges. We have the outstanding balance, which is the balance for all the previous months, but not including the current month. And we have the projected balance due. The projected balance includes the outstanding balance plus the current month's charges, and it has the funds from the student bank applied. So we can know what we think the balance for that student will be that month. Now, the reason why we call this a projected balance is because this balance can change. If a teacher wants to add a fee for the month, or if a lesson is canceled and the teacher doesn't want to charge for that lesson, those are things that could all affect the balance. Those changes for the month become permanent when a teacher reconciles at the end of the month. And we will talk about reconciling in just a minute. Let's talk about sending our invoices. So we have our initial projected amounts for the month, and let's suppose we want to send an invoice at the beginning of the month. We can come down at the bottom and click Send Student Invoice for April. A teacher can send as many invoices as they like. So if there are changes made throughout the month, the teacher can click Send Student Invoice for April. A teacher doesn't have to send the invoice until the end of the month, but that option is available. So if we sent an invoice, this is an informational page that would show us a summary of the invoices sent. It also shows the teacher that the email with that invoice was sent successfully to the student. Let's go back and look at our invoicing page. Now let's suppose that the month has passed and we have made sure that all our fees have been entered. We have checked our attendance and made sure that the attendance is accurate. Then we are ready to reconcile. At that point, you will click your Reconcile Student Accounts for April. An email will be sent at that time to your students that is the final email for the month that has your actual balance due, and it will display what's in your student bank, and it will show what your charges actually were for the month, your previous outstanding balance, and then it will show you your actual balance due with all the final information. This transaction is permanent and those changes cannot be undone. Now, one thing we need to take a look at is the student view. Let's look at the student view for Bow West. Now, I have logged into the software, or I will log into the software. for Bow West. And we can look at our finances. So here you can see that Bo has his schedule displayed. We can reschedule appointments. We will talk about this student view in another video. But we're specifically going to look at the student finances. So click Student Finances at the top, and it will show you the current bank funds, the outstanding balance, the projected charges, and the projected balance due. Now, you cannot see these funds until you have sent an invoice. If you have not sent an invoice for the month, then the projected charges will say not available for that month. Once you send an invoice, these charges will change according to what's on that invoice amount. After you reconcile at the end of the month, then the projected charges become part of the outstanding balance, and you will see your actual balance due for the month. So that's an important thing to note. If a student has excess funds in their bank, then this balance will be in parentheses and will be displayed in blue. If the student owes money, this will be displayed in red. This is also the same for the student view. If you would like to see a history of the invoices sent, you can select Invoice Report from the Reports drop-down menu at the top.